म्यूट कर जाना।
हो सर.
आवाज येतोय? हॅलो.
हा येतोय
हो सर.
सर.
बघा आता दिसतं ना स्क्रीन?
हो सर.
ओके. आवाज व्हॉइसचं मला फक्त सांगा की येतोय की नाही.
व्हॉइस येतोय सर.
ओके ठीक आहे. आता व्हिडिओचा व्हॉइसचं सांगा मला येतोय की नाही.
व्हिडिओ बॅकग्राऊंड मध्ये प्ले होतोय.
व्हिडिओ नाही दिसत आहे.
दिसतंय का?
बॅकग्राऊंड मध्ये
नाही
प्ले
ना,
होतोय
व्हिडिओ
सर
नाही
व्हिडिओ.
ठीक आहे. आता बघा. दिसतंय आता? एक मिनिट थांबा फक्त.
दिसतोय सर.
आवाज पण येतो ना क्लिअर?
हो.
ओके ओके ठीक आहे. ऐका आणि झालं की सांगा मला. ओके.
Guys, welcome back. In this particular lecture, we are going to discuss this 3 questions, or you can say the one question only which is asked many a time. First is explain duty of Linux system administrator in monitoring and turning performance. That is one of the duty of Linux administrator. Same way in the year 2015, again one question came like list duties of system administrator and explain any two of this. And this one question asked many a times, as you can see, how to configure a secure system. That is also one of the duty of Linux administrator. So let's discuss one by one all the duties of system administrator or Linux administrator. Now, before discussing system administrator or Linux administrator, we should have clear idea about what we mean by system administrator. Admin or administrator, a person who is responsible to handle each and every work which is going on your network. Basically, from handling server till handling client computers or host computers which are present in our network. So these are the main duties. As you can see, he is responsible to install, uninstall any particular software from different client computers, providing some access to clients which are present in our network. The same way, he can also provide security so that no one, not any outsider, can penetrate in our network. The same way, he also provides security over our network, over our data, or over our database, or over the data which is flowing from one computer to another computer, or data which is flowing within the network. As well as system administrator, he is also responsible for taking backups. In case if some disaster happens, suppose there is some flood like situation, earthquake, or any XYZ type of a disaster comes or emergency occurs, in that situation we are going to transfer all our traffic from our main server to backup server, so that work of our client or work of our company or people who depends on our server, that work should not be disrupted. So that is the only reason we also need to take backups as well. So all this duty from scratch till developing and maintaining the whole network, the work or responsibility is with system administrator. So we are going to discuss the same. As you can see here, I have listed out 7 duties of system administrator. So here, as you can see, duties of system administrator. Broadly, I have discussed this, and we'll also discuss in detail. So first is installing and configuring a servers. So what we mean by servers, what type of server we are talking about, that we'll discuss here. Then installing and configuring application software, any type of application software, whatever we required, we need to take permission, or we need to ask our administrator to install or provide the same software to us. The same way, system administrator is also responsible for adding, managing, updating, deleting new users in our network. So if I want to create, manage user accounts, that is also a responsibility of our system administrator. And as I said, that we need to take backups. So if we are storing huge amount of data from multiple sources, and that data is very important, and as well as it is also very much valuable, and many people are dependent, or their work is dependent on a data which is stored on our database server. In that situation, our data plays very important role. So if our data is so important, then we should have backup copy of the same data. So the 4 duty of system administrator, where we take backup, and we can also restore some corrupt files or file which is lost. So this is the 4th duty. Then we have 5th duty of system administrator, that is monitoring and turning performance. This is one of the, again, most important duty. As you can see, monitor our network, whether it is working fine or not. That is one of the this thing plays very important role, because it might possible, because of heavy traffic, network is getting congested day by day or time over time. Now if conjunction increases from one level, then the network, it might possible that this situation draws network down, and the whole process gets disrupted. And that is the only thing. We should have one software through which we can monitor traffic or data which is flowing inside and outside our network. So in Windows, we have this type of facilities available through which we can monitor. As you can see here, let me just zoom in a bit. Here we have some tools available in Windows 8, Windows 10. You can just directly find it out, and in Windows 7 also you can find it out, the same things. You can just zoom it out. Notes are available, and link is available in video description section, from where you can download the same notes. So in Windows, we have these facilities available, or all these tools we can use to improve our performance or to monitor our system. The same way in Linux, when we talk about, so we are not talking about single system here, we are talking about a whole big network here. So in that situation, we need some very important softwares. One software, if I give you an example, that is Wireshark. That is one of the most important software which many time people are using in current era to monitor traffic, to handle, to just to check what data is coming from outside network, within a network, and what data flowing from our network outside a network. So through which we can provide a proper security, so that confidential data should not leak out of our network. We can monitor many things we can do with the help of that particular software. Same way, configuring a secure system. So here, what we mean by configuring a secure system, it means we need to provide proper security levels as well. We also need to make sure data flows from which location to which location, in which manner. All these things comes under secure system. And the last and final duty, as you can see, a seventh part is using tools to monitor security. We use different tools through which we can easily monitor security. So we'll discuss one by one. Let's discuss. I hope these 7 duties are clear. Let me just revise it once again. First duty is installing and configuring servers. Second is installing, configuring softwares, creating, managing user accounts, then backing up and restoring files. Fifth is monitoring and turning performance. Sixth is configuring a secure system. And seventh is using tools to monitor security. So let's discuss one by one in detail. Remember, many time question directly comes in exam where they ask you to explain duties of system administrator, or they might ask you to explain any 1, 2 or 3 duties out of the 7 duties. So we should have knowledge about all the 7 duties in detail. So let's start with the first duty. As you can see here, first duty is installing and configuring server. Now, when we talk about installing and configuring server, remember it is not like our client server architecture where we have one client who is responsible or who is going to handle many different one server who is going to handle many different clients. In our situation, we basically install some software or packages through which we can provide some facility, some extra facility over our server, and that facility is called as, for example, FTP. So we can transfer files from our server computer to client computers and vice versa. So here, how we can do that? With the help of FTP server. Remember, when we talk about configuring and installing server, we are talking about small softwares through which we can increase the capability of our original server. So if I want our client should be able to send or receive files in very easy manner, then we need to install one package and then we need to program it as well. And that package or that programming part is called as configuring a server. Which type of server we are going to configure here? FTP server. Remember, as you can see, when you hear the word server to describe a computer, you probably think of a computer that offers some type of a service to client. Yes, here also this FTP server provides some type of a service. And what type of service it provides? It basically provides a way, a route through which we can exchange files between different computers which are present within our network or which are present outside of our network. The same way we can access the same files through some websites or internet as well. Same way we can set up email server as well, through which we can send or receive emails through some special service which we have configured, not from Gmail or Yahoo Mail. We can actually configure our email server. So that works same like Yahoo and Gmail. That facility is also available. The same way we can configure our domain name as well, like we have name for different websites, facebook.com, google.com. The same way we can configure DNS server as well. So this is how this all are practical. We'll discuss in practical section as well all these things. You'll get a better idea, or in detail what all this services means to us. You can actually study it practically as well as theoretically. So here just a theoretical part. In practical section, we'll discuss in detail how to install package and how to configure it and how it actually works. Now, we do have one more layer. As you can see, the standard Red Hat Linux graphical user interface requires a graphical layer called x386, or we have X Windows system. Now, if we don't have this X server or X Windows system, then GUI is not possible. So this is also one type of server, you can say, without which many easy facility which is present on our Red Hat, that is not possible. So we already know how to install Linux. If you don't know, just go and check practicals in the same channel, that is Tiruparmar. You will find how to install Red Hat on Oracle virtual machine with GUI. It works same, or it looks like same like Windows. Now let's discuss second duty of system administrator, like installing and configuring application softwares. So as you can see, we are going to use different softwares here directly, like we have different softwares in Windows as well. The same way we have different software present in Linux as well. So it is possible for individual user to install some application in their home directories. It is very simple. So whenever we create a new user in Linux system, that user's directory or folder is created within home directory. In Windows we call it desktop. So one folder basically created on desktop, or one directory is created on home directory in Linux. So whatever, now once this directory is created, that is called as users database. So whenever that user logs into his or her account and performs any task, creates any files, installs any softwares, anything, that everything is maintained in one directory, that is with his name only, and that directory by default creates under home directory. That is in Windows we have desktop. The same way in Linux we have something like home directory. I hope this particular point is clear. So if an application is to be used by more than one user, it probably needs to be installed higher up. For example, if root user installs any one software, root user means super user. So like we have administrator in Windows, the same way in Linux we have root user or super user. He can do anything in our operating system. Now if he installs some software, then he can provide accessibility to all the other user which is present on that particular system. But if a normal user installs some software, then it is not possible for any other user to access the same software, because one software which is installed by me, for example, if I install Photoshop, then I'm not a super user or admin user or root user. I'm just a normal user. So if I log into my system and install one software, then that software is accessible by me only. Not any other user can access that particular software except root user or super user. So in this situation, it is very complicated thing. Why? Because each and every user needs to install separately the same software multiple times on the same system. And hence what we do, we basically follow one strategy where root user installs the software and provides access to as many users as they want. So the same point is written here. If an application is to be used by more than one user, it probably needs to be installed higher up. That is, it needs to be installed at root level, so that all the other users which is below root user, they all can access the same. Administrator can limit which user may use which application by creating a group. Remember, we can add users in Linux system, as well as we can add those users in one group as well. So for example, I can add multiple users like user A, user B, user C, and all this user I can add in one group which is named as TYBACIT semester 5. So that way we can create group as well. We'll discuss or we'll look at how to create, what is the command to create user and group in our future practicals. New software packages might be installed. We can install new software, or we can update existing software which is present on our system. Remember, we can upgrade, or we can install, we can uninstall softwares or packages as well. So new software package might be installed, where basically we need to install this particular software. Remember this directory name, that is /opt. Slash means it's a root directory. / means root directory. Let me just zoom in a bit. As you can see here, we have /root directory. Remember, / stands for root, / means root, and opt is directory name. So we are going to study about each and every directory which is present in root directory in detail. That is also one of the most important question with respect to our board exam, university exam. So some packages are need to go in some packages. For example, if user installs some packages, then those softwares or those packages goes in which location? User, that is root. In that we have one directory or folder that is called as USR, user. In that we have again one more directory that is local. So if any software or package installed by a normal user, that software goes into this particular directory or this directory. We have two directories here with the name. We have one directory that is USR, user, and in that we have one local, and second we have only USR directory, which is same like this only. So either software might be installed in this location or this location. Remember, now onwards we'll discuss, we call it folder as directory only. In Linux we call folder as directory. Remember this point. So some packages may need to be go in user/local, or some even go in USR directly if they are upgraded of package installed as per Reddit. I hope this particular point is clear. So in short, we can install, configure application software, we can uninstall software. If I want to give multiple users the same software, then we need to install it at higher level, that is at a root or super user level. And if I want if I want that only one single user should be get access of that particular software, then we need to install it at very basic level. User can install it himself only. Now let's discuss about create and manage user accounts. So here we can create, remember this is one of the most important tasks. When we talk about network, we need to give some access to users which are present in that network. So here we can create different types of users. We can give different types of privileges to this users. For example, an account must be created for each user, and system administrator does the same task. Now we are not discussing practicals here, but we use user add command to add users. I'll show you in practical part. So here an account must be created, and who is responsible to create this type of account? System administrator. Remember, we can create an account, we can put limit on that account. For example, I can unblock a user. At the same time, we can also provide a time limit for how long that user should live in our system. I can put an expiry date on user accounts as well. For example, if I talk about some college, and that college provides you some very important material which is not for free. So if I pay a fee for semester 5, then university or college provides me some resources which belongs to semester 5. But semester 5 is for 6 months only. So all the users of semester 5 should get access to same data for one limited time, that is 6 months only. Now when I'm creating a user, and if I don't put expiry date on that user, then again I need to find out which users belongs to semester 5, and when till what time they should get access to this resources, and by what time they should not get access. So this task gets very, very complicated. So instead of making it too much complicated, we can, while creating user, we can set expiry date on users. So once the time expires, once 6 months goes, their account gets automatically blocked. I hope this particular point is clear. A system administrator can give options to user to change their own passwords. Either admin can change passwords of user account, or users itself can change their own passwords. We can also configure setting to prompt user that they must change password periodically. We can also give some periodical updates or pop-up message like we used to get from Gmail or Yahoo Mail whenever we logged into system after a long time, and if we have not changed our password for like 1, 2 months, 3 months, or 4, 5 months, then Gmail automatically gives us one pop-up message that for a security reason, you should change your password on periodical basis. The same way, system admin or administrator can also generate this type of pop-up messages, and once user log into their system, that pop-up message automatically comes on a screen and user can follow these instructions. The same thing is applicable when we talk about some office. So if I want to assign some tasks to all the clients or to all the employees, then instead of approaching every individual client, I can just directly create this type of a pop-up and I just broadcast it in a network, so that all employees, whenever they log into their system, they can get this particular message and they can work according to that particular message. I hope this particular point is clear.
Hello.